How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Rihanna.
And I'm Connie, and welcome to our bonus episode. Sorry, we've been lax.
We've been on the struggle bus lately, y'all. I don't know about anybody else. And actually, I'm in a group of a bunch of manifester people. So if you are into that kind of thing, and almost everybody said like last week that they had a hard week. So something was going on last week. Whatever you believe in, it was just a rougher week last week. So we're back. Here we are.
Exactly.
We were just talking about potentially taking a family trip for Christmas and our feels on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Luke really wanted to go. And Mitchell and Sarah, they're probably not going to be going because they're going to be doing IVF. So,
Oh, okay.
and that's when that's when they start, but they're going to be doing it from September to December because of her work. And the doctors basically told her to not travel. It's too stressful.
That makes sense. Traveling is stressful no matter how you
Like
swing
on
it.
your
Even,
body, even like just on
yeah.
your body getting up into the air. Because I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
found out because we're going to Colorado because we were going to start trying in June when Theo turned 2. And
Hmm.
then I was like, oh, well, then I guess we're going to hold off because I didn't realize that because we're going to Colorado and we're going to be in the mountains, it's actually safer for me to stop and wait until we're done with the trip because of those high elevations and I'm not used to it.
Hmm.
So I could lose the baby potentially if I
Yeah.
were to be pregnant by then.
Yeah.
And I
There's all
was
those
like,
things.
oh, I didn't even like think about that. And you know what's even funnier is Tom was the one to look it up
Good for Tom.
because Tom wanted to know when we could try again.
There you go. Good for Tom. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and I
actually
was
I'm
shocked that he had that initiative. I was like, really?
I'm definitely not opposed to going down there. I definitely want my own space. So I would rent an Airbnb. I know like my mom and dad and Mikhail and Jackson talked about at least sharing an Airbnb and then seeing if anybody else maybe would want to like pop
Yeah.
in with us. But that way, Aunt Lydia or our aunt at least has her own space because I'm sure
And
it's going to be a lot.
there's just not enough space in the house if you're talking about
Yeah.
everybody going down there.
Yeah.
The only thing that my brother brought up, which I thought was really valid, is does Lydia want us to go down there? Because I guess he asked to go visit and they said no, she wasn't feeling good. And that it was recently, supposedly. I don't know. But they were like, no, later. And so he's like, well, I don't want to go down there for Christmas unless she wants us to be down there, which is
I'm
super
thinking
valid.
it is valid for sure. And I'm sure somebody will start the conversation with her to
Yeah.
ask. I do think this will be different though because she loves Christmas
Oh, yeah, very
and
true.
it's potentially her last Christmas and she doesn't want, like funeral or anything. This would be doing that instead.
They're not even going to do like the ashes like how we did for Aunt Mary and bury her with like grandma and grandpa. Not even
Nope.
that.
Nope.
What the hell are you doing then?
She just wants to be cremated and like I forget where my mom said she wanted to be spread, but that was it. That's all. She doesn't want a party. She doesn't want anybody to come down. She doesn't want to do a celebration of life or any of that.
Well, I mean, that's up to you. I mean,
So I
that's
think that's what spurred this idea for Christmas is since if we're not going to do that,
gotcha.
well then let's do something while you're still
We're still
here.
here. And because you actually, we have, not we have the time, but at least we know it's coming. Like, it's
Hmm.
not going to be a shock. No one will be
No,
shocked by this.
no, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I have been
Yeah.
passing information along that I've seen. I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing it more, but I feel like there's been more people lately that I've encountered that have cancer. The lady that runs my manifestor group has cancer. One of the gals, the military wife, people that I adore on Instagram has cancer. So, but I've been passing all the information around to like everybody. The one gal posted the other day, and I told mom to send it to our aunt that said Brussels sprouts, beets, and broccoli all have cancer fighting
Fighting properties.
properties.
Except for that Lydia's not going to do it.
That's the only
Sorry.
thing. I
Like,
don't know if she will either.
I would be jumping at anything, literally anything to help.
That's what the gal that runs my manifestor group is doing. Like she's doing like their hyperbolic chamber. She's doing this
Mm,
Cambo treatment, which I've never heard of Cambo treatment before, which is where they like burn little holes in your skin and then they put in frog poison. It's unlike like
that's
radiation.
wild.
It's supposed to only target the bad cells. You know where like cancer, like chemo treatments can't really
Yes. Do that.
supposedly. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if all this is
Hey,
actually true. Just passing
I
along what I know.
I actually got good news on my girlfriend, her sister, really young, 40, or in her 40s. I don't know the exact age. She had terminal lung cancer and is
Ooh.
now cancer free
That's amazing.
because she decided she was lucky. Her job was flexible and they gave her the time to let her work and do experimental treatments.
Oh,
And
there you go.
you know what's insane? So at first, like within the first few months, it shrunk it, right?
That's
Then
awesome.
they went through it and then they just recently like, okay, well, we can't do these trials anymore. No drug company. This is crazy. No drug company picked up this medication. And I was like, but it's already shrunk her tumor. Like, how do you not pick up a medication
Yeah.
or a treatment that's shrinking people's cancer? And it shrank it enough because at first they went in and they thought it was going to be operable, but from the scans they couldn't see all the other masses that were actually there, and it was not inoperable in reality once they opened her up.
Oh.
So then it was shrunk, right?
Mhm.
And it shrank enough that it actually then became operable. So she's now
There you
technically
go.
cancer free, but they won't give her that term. But she now is, but now she doesn't have to, like, now she can like seize life because
Yeah.
I mean, for like the past, I'd say 2 to 3 years, all of her time off, all of her PTO was all used so that she could take, I think it was like 2 days a week
Mhm.
off to go and do the treatments.
Trivia. Yeah.
So I was like, that's amazing. You never like those stories are so far and few in between, you know,
Yeah.
of like, well, I was supposed to be terminal. I was supposed to die, and then I did a experimental treatment, and here we are. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't remember exactly what Ashley said because we interviewed Ashley a long time ago, but I don't think they ever truly call you cancer free. Like you're in
Yeah,
remission and then you're like something else. I forget what the next stage is called, but they don't ever like truly call you cancer free. But that's good either way that she's in that stage that it's not a worry anymore. But it really did
yes.
get me thinking when the gal that runs my group started talking about like all the stuff she was doing. I was like, I've like right now in my mindset, I would be like, absolutely not. I'm not putting frog poison in my body and like barfing my brains out. But if I had cancer, I'd probably be singing a different tune.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if you're told, like, well, you don't really have very many other options, then you're gonna try. Or it really depends on your mindset, but you're gonna try everything. I mean, but it
Yeah. And
also depends on who you are because I feel like Lydia has accepted it and
mhm.
just moved on. Like, she's just like, nope, it's not gonna happen for me. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, and she also made a valid point like chemo and all that makes you really sick too. So what's the difference between that and trying the frog poison? Like they're both essentially poisons. Might as well
Hmm.
try all the things. And I was like, you know what? That's a very valid point.
Very
I
good
think
for
I would
her.
I think I would try everything because I mean, why not? Especially if you had terminal cancer and you were going to die. And I mean, why not exhaust all efforts?
Yeah, all I know is that I'm never moving to Florida. Florida is where you die.
Yeah, Florida's
Well,
never been on my radar. I'm not a Florida person. No offense to our
well,
Florida listeners.
well, apparently, like a coworker of Lydia, when she first got the cancer diagnosis, and was like then like cancer free. It was like before they moved to Florida. Basically, told her if you move to Florida, you're gonna die because cancer in Florida, it's not going to go well with their healthcare system.
Hmm, interesting.
That their healthcare system isn't robust enough to do the treatments that you could get up here in Chicago. So if she would have stayed here, she could be singing a completely different tune. Like I don't even want to think about how different her life could have been or
Mhm.
even her in cancer could have been if she would have stayed up here, especially being near family. You feel hopeless when they're somewhere else, far away.
Yeah, absolutely. Having family around, I think, makes a huge difference. And then I also think, I mean, maybe I'm just being really positive. I don't feel like she would be in the state that she's in now because my
They would have
mom and
caught the
your
hip
mom and all of us
earlier.
would have been like, "Get your butt up. We're going for a walk. You're not laying here. You need to get fresh air. You need to be
Yes.
out of your bed." Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they probably would have caught the hip sooner. I mean, we can't say for certain, but probably. But I definitely believe if you have higher medical care, it makes a difference. Plus, she has to sit in the car for like 2 hours to make it to the doctor. I mean, how healthy is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you can't change anything. It is what it is.
Hmm.
But there would have been more eyes on her, more people trying to help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. I don't think she would be in the state that she's in.
Do we know she if she is she starting to walk again?
She said she is, yeah.
Good.
Well, the one doctor literally told her he said even if you laying in this bed is going to kill you faster than the cancer will.
Hmm.
We were not
I
designed to
believe it.
be in bed all the time. That's not good.
Absolutely not good.
But
Yeah, and I told Tom because we were, talking about this going to Florida, and I told him, I was like, under no circumstances are we staying with Patty because it did not go well with
mhm.
Theo. And Theo now needs his own bed. He's
Mhm.
one, not sleeping on a couch. Her house is too small. Like,
Mhm.
how can I impress upon you that it's not happening?
That's all you say. It's not happening.
Yeah, well, no. And then he was like, no, no, no. I have like Hilton points. We can use Hilton points and at least probably stay for 3 days for free. And I
There you
was
go.
like, all right. Actually,
Or a
I
bunch
think
of us get a giant Airbnb and
I
split
like
it
the
and make it cheap.
idea I like the idea of an Airbnb, but I don't know how much cheaper it's going to be, or if there's even going to be Airbnbs to rent for that many people because of
I
the area. The area, it's
yeah.
really, it's the middle of nowhere.
I looked at some already just because I wanted to get an idea of like how pricey it was because we're going to be
Hmm.
coming. I think we're going to take our vacation the week before and then just fly to Florida. And I was looking for five, originally just, well, yeah, five because our family, and then my mom and dad.
Hmm.
And there was a ton of options. And you know how it is when you type in like a bigger number, they usually give you like the bigger houses too.
Yeah,
So there was some decent ones on there. And if
I'm
anything,
shocked.
we could go to like Placid, which is a really big area, and it'd be on the lake and all sorts of pretty stuff. But we have options.
Lake Placid, wouldn't that be pretty far away?
My mom said like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. Pretty much everything interesting to do in the area. I'm trying to figure out what to do with Leo.
Hmm.
Everything was like an hour. I was looking for a simple splash pad.
Hmm.
The closest one an hour away was
Well, yeah,
insane.
that's a retirement community. It's not really gonna have stuff for kids when you're near older
Yeah, and
people.
well, it's not even that. It's like you're not really close to anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been having the same issues with her doctors, driving 1 to 2
An hour.
hours to
Hmm.
doctor's appointments.
Yeah, because
So
she
not
goes up to
surprising.
all the way. Because she goes all the way up to Orlando, and Orlando's a
Yep.
2 hour drive.
Yep.
That's actually what I hate the most. It's not just flying down. You then have to take a 2 hour trip.
Yeah. That's why I think we're gonna go on our trip, probably fly in, spend, I don't know, 3 or 4 days there, and then probably drive back because my parents are gonna drive down and probably drive back with them because then they're gonna stay with us through New Year's and then they'll go back to Chicago.
Okay. Will you be in the same house? Oh, yeah, I guess you don't know. I was gonna say, are you gonna be in the same house or are you
Mhm.
gonna be in the middle of moving?
No, we'll be done moving. It'll just be where we are. We'll either be in North Carolina or South Carolina, which South
At
Carolina is
least
pretty close.
yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be really close.
South Carolina is pretty close. It's like 6 hours, but North Carolina is still going to 11 and a half to 12. So a little bit
If it was
more
South
of a
Carolina,
push.
I would just be driving. It'd be really easy
Yeah, it would be super easy.
versus flying.
Yeah, the only reason we're gonna fly is, like I said, we're gonna take our big vacation the week before. So then we'll be flying back probably from like Jamaica or whatever we go and flying into Florida.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, drive back with my parents because they're gonna drive down. Otherwise, yeah, we would just drive down if we weren't going on a vacation before.
Yeah. Oh, the things you try to get done. Yeah, Tom wants to do it
Hmm.
because I'll technically have a week off. I'll probably still have to bring my laptop to work the 2 days I
Hmm.
normally have to work during our Christmas vacation that we
Hmm.
get. If all of my company is supposed to be off the week of Christmas,
Hmm.
why do I still have to work for 2 days? Because we
Hmm.
all rotate and it's like a skeleton crew of two-ish people working. Why? If we're all supposed to be off, we should all be off. Screw y'all. That's stupid. But then I can't really want to say, no, I don't want to do it because at the same time, I'm getting double pay.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
but it is a
getting
nice
holiday
little
pay.
bump. Yeah. Well, because
Yeah,
I get paid for the holiday and I get paid my regular hours. So I'm getting double pay
there you go.
for those 2 days. So, well, it's like I see both. Well, I kind of like getting the double pay, but at the same time, be nice to do stuff with my son for Christmas.
Yeah, I was debating too. I'm gonna see how much time I take off because between like our vacation going down to the Florida and then my parents being biased, that's like 3 weeks. So I gotta figure. I mean, I'm salary now, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm still trying not to be an a-hole. Take a whole bunch of time off at one time.
Yeah.
So I might bring my computer with too. We can sit there and bitch together.
Well, but see, like the other thing is that, like, well, even the 2 days that I'll end up working that week, there's nothing going on. There's nothing to do. I remember one year
It's
I
easy
literally
money then.
I sat and like watched Christmas movies all day.
There you go. Easy
And then
day.
like this last year, I was baking cookies with mom when I was supposed to be working. And then by noon, my boss was like, okay, it's dead. You guys can all leave.
There you go.
And I peace out.
I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen with this whole Change healthcare thing. I don't know if you've seen it in the news, but my company actually uses Change as our clearinghouse. And they had a cyber attack that
Uh-oh.
happened. And they're like the second biggest company in the US that handles all these things. Massive amounts of pharmacies haven't been able to fill like prescriptions and all this kind of stuff because they're
Uh-oh.
having these outages.
Issues.
So yeah, and it's been down since February 20th. So, we're well over a month into it now. And of course, there's all these rumors flying around that it got taken by people and they paid the ransom to get it back and then they didn't actually get it back. It's just wild. So I'm waiting
Wow.
to see what's going to happen with Change.
Yeah, and beware of phishing emails, right?
I mean,
Because that's
it's
one of the ways,
insane.
but I mean, it is.
We're going to be in a massive backlog, right? Because none of our, I mean, we did finally find a way to temporarily get our claims out, but they're still not coming back in. So whenever it does come up online, we're going to have hundreds of thousands of claims all of a sudden coming in and a whole bunch of
Oh
work.
my God.
So it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be fun.
interesting.
That sounds real fun. No,
We're trying
thank
to
you.
prep for it too, but you can't really prep
How
for it.
can
It's
you? Yeah.
it's gonna go how it's
The
gonna go.
well, and the only thing that you could do is like get more employees, really, because that's what you're gonna
Mhm.
need. Like,
Right,
or
and
like a
then
bunch of temps.
yeah, it
You'll
would
need
probably be
something
more
like that.
temps because we don't want to hire a bunch of people and then be like, oh, okay, work's over. Now we have way too many people.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
They just need to hire like a temp company and bring in a
We
bunch
do
of
do
temps
that.
for it.
We have done that before, so we definitely could do it again. I actually just taught the last class that I trained was they were our temps. They're here till June. So maybe it's good that they're here till June because they can help with whatever craziness is about to ensue on us. And if we need to hire more, we hire more. But
What if it
oh
keeps
god,
going? You don't even want to
I
talk
hope
about that.
I don't even want to think about that. I mean, I'm not paid enough to worry about that level of things.
You know what? That's what I've started doing at my job. The whole like, I'm not paid enough. Because like I would go faster and I would get more done at
Hmm.
my job. And I made like a couple of like really small slip ups. And my boss like would lecture me or whatever. And it's fine. Like yeah, I get it. You have to like be my boss. And then I was like, nope, we're changing your mindset. You don't get paid enough to work fast. So take your sweet ass time.
Yeah.
However long it takes, it takes. Because I have people, because like this old standard used to be like you need to do like 20 quotes within a day, which
Mm-hmm.
is really easy to do. I do like 40, 40 plus. Okay. So, and I would have coworkers, I saw them because they were training me. And I literally saw her count one, two, three, oh, I'm at 18. Okay, I guess I'll just do three more. And then I'll like relax and go slow. So I'm like, I've been doing it wrong the whole time. I just need to count how much I do and just do the bare minimum.
Yeah, we have metrics too for our associates. I no longer, now that I'm salary, don't have to worry about metrics, but we're always like looking at them, seeing if they need to be revamped, if they're reasonable, if they're not. So it's interesting now being on this side of the coin of where we're like looking
Yes.
at if the metrics are working on versus being
Well,
like, I
see
have to
the
meet my metrics.
well, I know my boss hasn't really measured or shown me my metrics. Oh my God, in forever,
Oh yeah, we used to go over
forever.
it monthly.
Well, no, and that's what I still have a monthly meeting with him. And we switched to a new system, and he can still pull the reports. I just don't know why, because I'm guessing because we're all above the metrics that they've set for us, and we're
They're just not
above.
bothering.
Mhm. Because we have a 2-hour window to get parts done, or like the quotes set up, and we always meet it. So then we had a goal of an hour. We always met a goal of an hour, but that was like we didn't tell sales that like, oh well, we're trying to get it done within an hour. Sales only knows that we need to get parts and quotes set up within 2 hours, and that'll
Mm-hmm.
never change because you don't want to over promise and under deliver or whatever. But now we've been doing it within 45 minutes. So my boss is
There you
probably just
go.
like, well, they do it in 45 minutes and it's an hour, so it's fine. Like, why
It's
bother?
fine. Yeah. 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 No sense in addressing something that doesn't need to be. If it ain't broke, don't fix
Don't
it.
fix it. Well, and the other two women are older and they take everything really personally. They're
Mm.
really hard to like, if anything changes, they're like, they're just, I don't even, they get like tense. They get really
Mm.
tense about any sort of change.
So funny you made that comment though, because I literally just I wrote up a proposal, and on the proposal I was like, "This is a scenario where we can under promise and over deliver." I wrote it the other way
Nice.
because that always makes like if something's gonna go bad, like it's always better if you under promise and then can over deliver because then they're like, "Oh, okay," and then instead of them being mad, they're happy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, but ours is sales. So we're like, no, no, we don't want to.
Yeah,
Because like
that's
so there
different.
because there are days where well and it's all internal, so we're like no no.
Yeah, that's different. I'm not dealing with sales, so
Mhm. And then sales gets all if you're not. So then now, like when we get things done in like 30 minutes, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. It was so fast. So they're like, so I'm like, okay, cool, bye. How do
work
you,
hard, people, but not too
yeah,
hard.
yeah, exactly. Only do what your company pays you to do. All right.
All right.
That's my new goal is just to do what I'm paid to do. Nothing more, nothing less. That and so everybody, can we get some comments on our videos or whatever? How do you deal with somebody who has cancer? How do you support them? Let us know.
Let us know
We
because
are
we
all
need
going to
all
go
the.
to, and we're all going to go to Florida maybe. Could be a good time. We'll see.
It, I hope it's a good time. Pray for us.
Hmm. Exactly. Either a good time or a very stressful time with our aunts.
Mm-hmm.
It's one or the other. They're all very high
Mm-hmm.
strung guys.
Mm-hmm.
Can be anyway. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next episode. Thanks for listening.